Hey everyone, it's the Vitality Junkie and welcome to my website. I am so glad you decided to check out my program and I know you're going to thank yourself for doing it. I'm sure some of you are feeling a little bit hesitant and wondering who I am and how I can help you. So I wanted to share a little bit about who I am, how I got to be a Vitality Junkie, and how I created becoming a Vitality Junkie. I was born and raised along with my twin sister in Toronto, Ontario by two very young parents. They did as much as they could for us, considering how inexperienced they were. And even though they had very little money, we were never made to feel deprived of things or experiences. To be honest, I'm not even sure how they actually did it. As everyone does, we grew up and took on the beliefs that we were exposed to by our parents, our families, our friends, our circumstances. Both my parents were born in Europe and were raised in strict homes with old school style parenting. We had very little money, as I said, and my sister and I actually shared a pull-out couch for a bed in our living room through our first years of high school. And because we lived on one level of a house, we had to walk through my parents' bedroom and through the bathroom to get into the kitchen. There was zero privacy in our home. Anyway, I had created very limited beliefs about how much money I would make and what kind of life I would build for myself. I had fully expected that I would follow a similar path to my parents, except for having kids at a young age. In fact, as it would turn out, both my sister and I ended up having children in our mid to late 30s. I didn't see much travel in my future. I thought I would live in a modest house, get married young, maybe make $40,000 a year. The funny thing was, I didn't even realize that I had created all these limits for myself. As a teenager, I cared more about my friends and hanging out than school, and began drinking and smoking and really got into the party scene. But it was something that I did in my last year of high school that would change the course my life was on. I'd gone to Mexico for my high school graduation school trip, which was my first trip outside of Canada and Florida. And it was in that moment that I decided I wanted more. Ever since I could remember, I loved creating lists and setting goals for myself. But it was because of this trip that I decided to do something bigger. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world, have experiences. And it was this trip that gave me the courage to move across the country at 22 years old, not knowing a single person, and begin my journey. I remember crying the entire plane ride to Victoria, thinking, what have I done? I think the flight attendants thought something was wrong with me, or maybe they're used to this kind of thing, because none of them actually ever said anything to me. In fact, I actually cried a lot that first year, and was literally counting down the days until my 2 years were up, so I could go back home. Within months, I began gaining weight, and there were times I literally spent the weekend in my pajamas. No shower, no brushing my teeth, not even changing my underwear. Just eating crappy food and watching TV all weekend. And I know that sounds disgusting. Trust me, there's moments now where I actually would welcome a weekend like this with having two kids, but at the time I was slowly sinking a hole that I quickly realized that I did not want to get sucked into, and I needed to make a change. So I joined a gym and I had no clue what I was doing. I remember working out one day and getting yelled at by another member because I wasn't going through the circuit properly. And I was like, first of all, what is a circuit? And oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And I went home and I cried. And fortunately, I found the courage to go back, but I meandered my way through workouts and thought that exercise alone would help me lose weight. I finally enlisted the help of a friend to show me some exercises, and I realized that I actually really liked weight training, but the exercise alone wasn't cutting it, as I said. So this is when I decided to make a call to a registered dietitian through our employee assistance program at work, and quickly realized how unhealthy my eating habits were. And even though I wouldn't have considered myself a dieter, I was nibbling on greens with no dressing, thinking this was the way to eat, and then would quickly find myself starving and binge eating. I had no clue what I was doing and thought, is this how it's going to be for the rest of my life? This eventually led me to begin taking responsibility for myself, and I decided to learn as much as I could about becoming healthier. I started working towards my personal training certification and eventually my nutrition specialist certification. It was this process of learning and seeing my body change and loving the way I looked, and not only the way I looked, but the way I felt, that slowly increased my confidence in myself. I started to set bigger goals for myself, First, taking an organized tour through Europe, then backpacking through New Zealand and Australia and Southeast Asia all by myself. I went bungee jumping, I went skydiving, I competed in a fitness competition. I was doing some amazing things that even 5 years or even a couple of years earlier would have seemed crazy and unattainable. But here I was doing it. The more success I found, the more confidence I built, and the stronger I became mentally. I began reading and researching things like mindset and positive thinking. I also began learning about sleep and its impact not only on your energy, but your health too. I was so eager to share my knowledge that I made the leap and began training clients in a gym. But I quickly realized that they were just as lost as I had been, or at least some of them were. And I found it very difficult to offer any more assistance other than weight training in a 1-hour gym session. So after feeling discouraged, I gave up training. A few years later, I had my son and then my daughter. And it was when I was on maternity leave with my daughter that I found myself feeling lost. The time with my kids, while I did make a huge effort to be more present and enjoy the moments with them, they were flying by. I was close to going back to work and I was feeling worried about not being able to spend as much time with them. I loved my job, but I knew how much I loved traveling and my family and living a healthy lifestyle too. It was that moment in November 2016 that propelled me once again to make a drastic change. I was living an amazing life, traveling, raising 2 kids, working full time, and still had the energy to train and do fitness competitions and achieve all my goals. I had developed 6 habits that I truly believe are the key to achieving a life of vitality. And I knew I had something to give and share. I realized if I could find a sustainable, healthy, holistic approach to living my best life, I could help others do the same. This is what led me on my journey to creating Vitality Junkie and becoming a Vitality Junkie, your lifestyle project. I want to be able to help those that are going through the same struggles I went through without having to spend years reading and researching like I did. It's all right here in this program. You may be sitting there watching this video right now and are already thinking about all the reasons why you can't do this. Some of you may already be self-sabotaging yourselves because you're too afraid to change, too afraid of getting out of your comfort zone and making up excuses like I'm too old or I'm too busy or I've tried that already or I can't do it. But here's the thing, we all feel it. I'm feeling it right now at this very moment, filming this video. I know very little of filming, and I don't enjoy making videos. I have moments when I get down about how I look and sound and wish it could be someone else sitting here in front of the camera. But what I do know is my passion for sharing my wealth of knowledge is greater than my fears of what I can't do or how I look. Because I have a growth mindset, which I'll teach you all about in this program, I know that I can do anything I put my mind to. The more you get out of your comfort zone, the more you practice and you put into facing your fears, the better you get at it. Just like when you start exercising, the more effort you put in, the more you can do. The process of creating this program alone has had me in tears many times, up through the night scared many times, and fearful about what people will think. But then there are days I'm really excited about how many people this can help, and my confidence is through the roof. This program will teach you the mindset to push past the limiting beliefs, the negative self-talk, and the fearful thoughts so you can pursue any dream you have. Whether it's to become healthier or compete in a race, reach a huge goal, or just simply reconnect with yourself through mindfulness. No matter how big or small the change is that you're looking for, this program will get you there. So let's take a look at some of those excuses. If you think you're too old, think again. 2-time cancer survivor Harriet Thompson started running marathons at age 76. If you think you're too busy with school or work, exercise actually decreases stress, improves cognitive ability, and gives you more energy. All the things you need to succeed at work and school. I created my website and becoming Vitality Junkie in 2 years while working full-time with 2 small children. It was the 6 habits and 6 principles that I will teach you about that got me there. If you're too tired, this is why you need to start moving, eating better, and managing your sleep. All of these things will give you more energy. You've tried it before and it didn't work. If one strategy doesn't work, try a different one. Again, it's about choosing your mindset, which you'll learn all about in the mental fitness habit. It's not the right time. there's another excuse. It will never be the right time. Don't wait for 30 days when you have nothing going on to make a change. There will always be something happening in your life. That's why this program is so great and effective. It is designed to help you navigate through the ups and downs of everyday life and still live a healthy, vibrant life. This is not a quick fix program or a New Year's weight loss program. This is a life transforming program that will give you the tools you need to continually live a life of vitality. We're living in a reactive culture right now where people do nothing until they get sick instead of making proactive choices so they don't get sick. This program is a proactive, preventative approach to longevity. You will have more energy. You will be more focused. You will make better choices. You will remove limiting beliefs. You will exude confidence. People will notice something's different about you. You will look and feel healthier. You will find more meaning and purpose in your life. You will find your vitality. And once you do, you won't want to stop. This is how I feel every day. Okay, most days. And that's why I call myself a vitality junkie. I crave the feeling of being healthy and strong and capable of doing anything I set out to achieve. And I want to help you do the same. It's time for you to make time for you and put yourself first. Your body is your sanctuary. It's your only home, and you need to take care of it both mentally and physically. The time is right now. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait till the time is right. Don't wait until you're too sick to make a change. Don't wait until the kids are grown up to live your life. Start now. One of the best lessons I ever learned was when I was bungee jumping in New Zealand. The guide said, I'm going to count down from 5 to 1, and when I say 1, you have to jump or you'll never do it. So the countdown is on. The time is now. It's your time to become a vitality junkie.